the middle school in Spearfish, and I do like the name of the bill, 1, 2, 3, 4. But if it's such a bad bill, and it's this bill that, well, we're going to have a study committee to fix it, it's hard to keep track day to day what exactly is in it. If I ran my classroom like you're running this bill, I would be fired. Well, let's run it. Oh, let's do this. Let's do this. It's just on the face of it a lousy bill. You're trying to fix it while you're running as fast as you can to finish the legislature. Why not just don't pass it and start over? What we really need in education is not one-time funding. We don't need merit pay. It'd be nice. I'd like to get merit pay, and I kind of like that $3,500 for the math teachers. Sorry, all the rest of you, but I kind of like that. That was a nice thing. But nobody in South Dakota has said we have this overwhelming problem with lousy teachers. My husband was a school administrator. In 3 years, he removed 6 teachers. Why did he remove 6 teachers in 3 years? Because the administrator before him was ineffective. Okay, 6 teachers. He said it's not impossible to be done. But you dug a big hole for us last year in education. In Spearfish, we haven't had a pay raise in 3 years. Last night on the news, I saw on Sanborn Central, they haven't had a pay raise in 4 years, and that's just not the teachers. That's everybody. That's the custodians, that's the aides, that's the people working in the kitchen. You dug this huge hole for us. Could we, rather than creating new programs with new money, could we first fill the hole with some money, not one-time money? You can't increase salaries with one-time money. You can maybe come up with a new one-year program, but could we fill the hole first? And then 4 or 5 years down the road, since you say none of this is going to happen until 2016, 4 or 5 years down the road, when you fill the hole you made in education and we're back up to where we were last year, then maybe find some money. But does it make sense to try to create new programs on the fly when you've got districts cutting funding and in dire financials because of what happened last year?
Thank you.
It's probably the one year this is as divorced from the education process as anybody. I will say that we didn't dig the hole for just education.
I realize that.
The entire state had the same hole, and those cuts, the problem we had with the budget deficits that we were working with the past several years. Governor Dugard, to his credit, said we're gonna fix this and we're gonna do it now. Yes, understood the backfill is not available and that revenue has not been available yet either. And as well as education, all of the other parts of state government got cut as well. And they have not been backfilled as well. Yes, we hear constantly fund the formula, and that's a big attempt to try to do with what we've got. But we've also got the rest of the state government to take care of. Regarding merit pay, I don't think anybody said we had lousy teachers. I think the whole part of merit pay is that we have good teachers. And I don't think that the problem was, the math and science was determined as a critical need. There's an amendment in the new bill that there will be an ongoing, continuing evaluation of what the critical needs are. This year, math and science rose to the top. Next year, it might be special ed. The following year might be English. Whatever they are, those critical needs are going to be addressed, and I think this is a good way to do it. As far as killing the bill right now, I think that would not be a good thing to do, because, as I said, because of the delayed implementation of all of this, you're right. It's a horse race when we get to legislature. There's 10,000 things we have to do. I've always said, and Fred alluded to it a couple weeks ago, in the legislature, there's 2 things that happen. There's the budget and everything else. This year, it was education and everything else. And education is rising to the top, and I think it's getting the lip service. It's getting, everybody's concentrating on it. And I think it's getting a lot of attention that it deserves. And hopefully, and I do say hopefully, that the formula can be funded to the point that it's more equitable in the years to come. But that will not happen this year.
What I'm asking is, why create new programs and put money into new programs when we haven't funded yet that to our
could start again next January.
Why
with the
are you
same
starting
workers.
at all? Why don't you fill, what I'm asking is why don't you fill the hole, let's get that filled, and then we can come up with new programming. But let's fund our old programming. I don't understand.
So, respectfully, I think it's the process that needs to happen.
Well, I think that we kind of feel a little bit the same way that you do. We started with a 35-day session, then we took 2 days off. We got 33 days, and everything just suddenly became such a hurried up. We've got less time to do more. We don't have less bills than we had before, and so the 1234 came out from the governor as his best thought as to how we can help education, how we can get more math and science, and chemistry teachers, and things like that. Is the process? Are we going too fast, like you say? And you know, if we were going to try and do this year, I'd say yes, we are, because we're not ready. We're not even close, in my estimation, as to what we're finally going to come up with. And that's why, you know, the implementation is a couple of years down the road. If we were to kill this and start over, my concern is, like Tom was talking about, my concern is that we would be back doing the same thing next year that we're doing this year. Hopefully, we've got a lot of this stuff out of the way. You know, whether or not we can convince the governor to go along with us and all the other members of the legislature to try and go back. What I'd like to see is put the money out there and then let the local option, you know, leave it to local option. Let the local schools take over. And I was just looking at some things that, some memos on things to keep in mind on 1234. Hopefully, when this comes down, the local school boards will have the final decision-making on almost every portion of the bill. School districts can opt out of the achievement money for teachers or create their own performance-based system. School districts can opt out of the math and science money for teachers. School districts can get tenure or any length of contract they want. Those are some of the things that we've worked on and developed so far. So bear with us. I understand your frustration on this, but we've got to start somewhere, and this is where we're at now, and we still got another couple of years.
This is, I came to here this year particularly to work on the budget, and happy to do that. Last year we cut everyone 10%, and we weren't the most popular people in town. And I thought this year, well, we'll dig ourselves out of that hole, and the executive branch presented to us a proposal to enhance particularly science and math. I've debated myself how to vote on this bill, and I won't tell you today how I'm going to vote. However, I looked this morning on the internet for some rationalization. First, I believe that the schools in Spearfish are very, very good. Principal Morford sent me some information, some data that the test scores from Spearfish High School are quite good compared to the rest of our country. We're above average. The information I received this morning off the internet was a report to our president on STEM, which is science and technology and math and engineering. And we're in the middle of the pack, to lower the pack in our nation and the world. So our people our students aren't keeping up. So I understand through the governor, I'm trying to get inside the governor, said, okay, why did you propose this? Well, I think it's very rational given this that our students are not keeping up with the competition. It is not the person from Balfoucher competing with, it's the person from Shanghai, China, who's our competition. I believe that we need to keep up in that particular area. And the executive branch presented a proposal, and the legislative branch has, with input, decided, well, we need to revise that significantly, and we still are, and still want to work, we're a work in progress. So I applaud this school district. I think it's a very, very good school district. We're also blessed with a university that feeds students to our local school districts, but many want to stay here in Spearfish, and I don't blame them for wanting to stay. And we have an excellent pool of teachers that we're able to employ in our district. That being said, there's some justification for trying to improve science and math and engineering and technology. The Sanford lab is hopefully coming to fruition. We were presented with a fascinating project called Uranium, it's G on the periodic chart, and we can actually make crystals down in the mine. The only source we have now of enriched uranium is from Russia, because with the nuclear non-proliferation treaty, we get away with all of our centrifuges, and now we must buy it from Russia at a huge price. And some graduate students from Whitewood have developed a process whereby we can make this stuff. They would need a PhD in physics, which is another story, but anyway, there's some exciting developments that could occur in our backyard, and I think it all gets back to science and math. And our kids don't like to study this stuff. It's too difficult. It's not considered cool, and our best are still the best, but we don't have as many people going into these fields. That being said, we still have this bill, and I've not decided how to vote because I'm not sure that we still have a final version.